This is it. The final and by far the most important day of the season. The third day of racing for the world's biggest and fastest offshore racing series. SUPERBOAT International will crown world champions today.
The SUPERBOAT World Championships, presented by STIHL.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon in lovely Key West. A little overcast, a little bit of wind, not quite as much as we would have hoped for, to be honest.
We got a good start in our first two races, so it all comes down to today because it's double points. So whoever wins today is going to be in the cat seat, so we have to finish no worse than behind number 7.
We're sitting in a good position. We can win the World Championship if things go our way. We're going to run real hard, but we're going to run safe.
We're going to go out and run our own race, see how we do today, and see how it all settles in as we go, and then we'll make a call.
SUPERBOAT International, everyone getting ready for the third and final day of racing at the Key West World Championships. This is the big one.
You're right, Tommy. The epitome of power, the top of the food chain, the biggest and the baddest, and it is going to be off the chart.
We're looking at the CMS 03 boat. That's US 1. That was a national championship boat throughout the regular season. But as we look at our MTI in-depth report, they had anything but easy going during the course of these World Championships. This incident took place on day 2.
Oh, it was a massive impact right to the rear port side of CMS, right where the engine is and the exhaust system. It's just amazing they got this boat back and they're ready to race again today.
Whenever you get hit and knocks the boat around, so we certainly felt it, knocked the back end over. I'm just glad we didn't take that hit like that midship, because then he would have came over the top of the boat on the cockpit and all that, and then probably would have wiped this boat out pretty good, possibly hurt us, and would have left severe damage on his boat.
The good news is nobody got hurt, and the boats aren't beat up too bad. We were able to get ours repaired.
Not beat up too bad. A lot of people might argue with that statement right there. Look at that. That was a whirlwind of fiberglass when the incident took place. But look at the result after a night of hard work on the part of this team. Obviously, they bring a lot of techs, a lot of equipment to each one of these races. Obviously, they also bring some fiberglass and some plywood as well, and a lot of creative thinking. This CMS 03 boat is back and ready to go on championship day, the third and final day of racing.
It's amazing what a little duct tape will do, and check out that exhaust system. Re-engineered, but they are out there, and Tommy, we are ready to go racing. It's going to be wild to see how that boat performs today.
All right, we got our boats just about lined up, ready to go, looking for the green flag.
And there it is, Tommy. Let these big dogs eat. Here we go. We're going racing SUPERBOAT style. And already out there, both CMS boats taking an early lead. It is number 3, the bigger of the two CMS boats right now, putting out a little bit of a distance between 03. 03 looking good, Tommy.
Absolutely, and the 3 boat, that has been the leader throughout these entire championships here in Key West. They've won on day 1. They won on day number 2. A strong 50-foot-long CMS boat here has been the leader through this whole deal.
And look at a side-by-side battle here between Geico and the other CMS boat. I talked to Mark Granite and Big Scott Beggars. They told me that they were a little bit embarrassed by rounds 1 and 2. They want to come out here and perform today, and perform they are doing.
Absolutely. In races 1 and 2, the Geico boat, neither race were they able to finish with much in the way of power. But watch what looks like it's happening right here. The 3 boat pushing the Geico boat wide, maybe clearing a pathway for the 03 boat to move into the top position. The CMS stablemates helping each other out.
So far, look at this battle, Tommy, as they... Oh my, where'd they come from? They really hugged that pin close in turn number 1, and now they are fighting for the lead as well.
Absolutely, they used that short leg of the race course to really pour the coals on, and it paid off. What a maneuver for the 03 boat.
And what a start for SUPERBOAT Unlimited, and what a spectacle for all these fans here. This is great SUPERBOAT racing.
Lots of fireworks, and this is just lap number 1. We haven't even completed the first full lap yet. Who knows what else is coming up in this race.
Headed down the front stretch now. We are on board. Look how fast they're going, probably about 165 plus miles per hour. And the biggest boats in the fleet are even leaving the water, so the water is indeed rough in that area.
48-foot 03 boat right there has had a rough go of it in the World Championships here. Second place on day 1, that wasn't so bad, but day 2, Saw that terrible accident happen right there. 7th place is all they could manage, 133 points. So in overall points, they are in 4th place coming in to championship day.
As they scream by our record-breaking crowds, there is your 3rd place boat, Geico. They lost a little bit of ground there in turn number 2.
That might have been from shock at seeing what happened between the 3 and the 03 boat there.
But Geico made up some valuable time right there, Tommy, in turn number 3, but they're going through the wash right there. They just got hosed down. Woo, that is a dangerous maneuver right there.
These are big, big boats, and the spray they put up is massive. It is an avalanche of foam, and the visibility is a huge issue for all these boats. You want to be the guy in the lead, basically. The Lucas Oil Silverhook boat has not done badly through these World Championship rounds here. They've finished no worse than 3rd place, but running in 5th right now for Nigel Hook and Jay Johnson.
And in 6th place, the 42-foot platinum hull of Alex and Ani.
All right, well, look at this. Team CRC off the race course right now. I don't know what the problem is, but it's got to be serious enough if they are headed back toward the cranes, toward the hot pits right there. And meanwhile, back in the battle for 2nd place, the 3 boat and the Geico boat still neck and neck.
This Geico lost some valuable ground, though, Tommy, going through that rough area of the course. They lost about 2 seconds.
Plenty of racing left to go in this Geico boat. One of the most high-profile boats in all the world. Having some trouble down here in Key West. They're definitely racing for pride today. They don't want a mishap like they endured on days 1 and day 2. And this 03 boat, what a story. We just about gave them up for dead after the 2nd race, but look at this comeback on the 3rd and final day.
Oh, it's been beyond exciting. Superboat Unlimited. And we'll have more action when we come back. These biggest and fastest boats in the world continue to battle it out right here in Key West.
Superboat International presented by STIHL. This is the World Championships, Key West, Florida. Continuation of the 3rd and final day of racing. Record numbers of fans and families and kids on hand. Lots of young people getting involved in the sport, like Jacob Dillon here, interning for Team STIHL. Or log on to superboat.com. Right in the middle of the unlimited class, and there's your leader in this 3rd race, the 03 CMS boat, who gets the comeback of the year for rebuilding that shattered boat after race 2, and they have come back in a big way, Stan.
And Tommy, another team that's made a massive comeback is a team we're riding with right now, Miss Geico. They lost engines in round 1 and 2 and would not even be out there today if it weren't for fellow competitors stepping up and loaning them an engine.
It's hard. This is one of those times where you got to dig deep as a racing team. You know inside you have everything right, but the final pieces aren't there yet. And it's easy to get down, it's easy to quit. These guys don't quit. That's what makes this team so strong, is they don't quit. They find a way. We had one of our competitors, the CRC team, come to our aid and give us a motor.
Even though it's another competitor in front of us, I'd rather win the right way than win the wrong way. And we had an extra engine, so we gave it to them. And, it's a good deed.
The motor will be in probably the next 30 to 35 minutes. If everything checks out, they'll look at all the data and make sure that it looks good. It's going to hustle over to the crane. We're going racing, man.
There you go. This Geico team did not come to Key West to sit on the sidelines, to sit on the dock of the bay and watch this racing go on. They've got that boat back ready to go and having a good result here in this 3rd and final race, this battle back and forth with the CMS3 boat, and it looks like they may have a shot at getting by them.
This Geico, Tommy, they are in fearless mode today as they indeed take over 2nd place. They've gotten around number 3 side by side now as they go through that very discombobulated water there where that drainage system is, and here they come. Top speed now, 170 miles per hour. But there is your leader, and what a story it has been. With the big Band-Aid on the back, they are screaming towards turn number 3.
CMS 03 boat, and of course the 3 boat, which just got passed by the Geico, the points leader, coming into this final championship race at the World Championships. They know they could finish probably 2nd, probably 3rd, and still take the victory, but they're going to battle it out in the meantime with Geico as we head into the final 2 laps.
What a bunch of moves they are putting on each other, back and forth, seesawing the battle for 2nd place, and now Geico's in the lead, and almost in the wash there was CMS. Look how close they're coming as they head back out now, coming out of turn number 3 and headed out to turn number 1. What a battle.
CMS 3 and Geico, what a great battle. You're right, Stan, all through this race right now. And of course, the CMS 3 boat, the points leader, a perfect score in points, 500 of 500 based on 2 wins in rounds 1 and 2. So CMS 3 doing their best to just hang in there. They know they got to thrust and parry with the Geico boat, but they want to come out on top of this one.
And both these boats have identical power, twin turbocharged, 1,650 engines per side. That is an awful lot of horsepower, and they are pouring on the coals now.
CMS 3 in front for the time being, ahead of Miss Geico. They have passed turn number 1. They're headed for turn number 2 again. We've got a little bit of weather today, a little bit higher chop, and turn 2 can definitely be treacherous on days like this.
They are really running that boat loose, trying to get some ground on CMS.
CMS holding the lead there, seem to have made it through that turn. 03 for sure has made it through there, and they're getting ready to start in on lap number 9. They're going to go by the spectators here. Huge crowd today in Key West. This is the final day of racing, and they have all turned out to see what transpires in this final round.
On board now, Miss Geico, and Tommy, she's coming off planes, she's coming off speeds. Not again.
3 days in a row. It's been major mechanical both of those days, and you just hate to see this happen to this team that works so hard, particularly on this day, to get themselves back in it for the final race.
What a valiant effort, though, so far. We'll see if they can get that boat back up, but they are losing ground as we speak.
Towboat, you get an eyeball on Geico? He's got him. He'll be there in 2 seconds. Copy that. Control, Geico smoke is coming out of the exhaust. The boat is not on fire. Copy that, sir. Do you need any assistance? No, sir. We're good. Thank you. Copy that.
Well, there's Miss Geico. These boats are thoroughbreds, and just like a thoroughbred racehorse, they are very temperamental and subject to breaking down. I'm afraid that's what happened to Geico this time around. As we head for the finish line with the 1 and 2 boats, CMS 03 in the lead and CMS 3 right behind him. In fact, Stan making up ground on him in these final moments.
Well, you mentioned thoroughbreds. These boats from the same stable, and they are looking good. What a picture-perfect finish for this race here, the World Championships. 2 boats side by side, but it will be 03.
Making it exciting, a little bit of a gunfight between the stablemates at the very end, but just like through the entire race, it's the 03 boat. 3 trying to catch him just at the end there. So the 03 wins the race, but CMS 3 are your world champions. They had a perfect record throughout the first 2 races. There are your points officially right there, 950 points. CMS 3, your champions of the world. CMS 03 in second place, Lucas Oil in third, and Miss Geico coming in fourth.
And a big tip of the hat to Bob Bull, the owner of both of those beautiful MTI catamaran hulls. And let's not lose sight of the fact that on throttles in that boat is the gentleman who builds these MTIs, Randy Sism. What a flawless week for Team CMS.
We got a good start. We got a good lane. Geico was close to us. Out in the back straightaway, it was, I don't know, probably 3s, maybe 4 foot. We'd gas it, pull up a little bit, and they'd hit one and stand up, and hit one and stand up. We would. It was a good race. Those guys put up a hell of a fight, and it was just great. Johnny and Jeff did awesome. In a 48, they outran us. It was perfect, man. Absolutely perfect.
Championship day rolls on from here in Key West, Florida. 2 big categories left to show you today. When we return, it's going to be Superboat Extreme. Key West, Florida, Superboat International World Championship, certainly the biggest sporting event in this part of the world, and the people love it. They turn out for it, and of course we're covering what you might call the big 3 categories today, but 7 full categories racing today in P3, Production 3, the world champion. This boat right here, Second Amendment. In P4, Manufacturer 4, 5 boats in that category, and your winner, Crazy Chicken, a perfect record, 3 races and 3 wins for the team with Crazy Chicken. In Superboat V class, it's this one here, the 51 boat, Sunprint, 2 seconds and a first place. They'll take the world championship. Jay Muller, who will be working the throttle later for the WHM boat in the Superboat class, also on the team for the world champion Talbot boat in Superboat stock. Again, 7 world championships being decided in Key West here today. The cranes, the pits area, so busy, and there is so much on the line. Right now we're going to take a look at Superboat Extreme. And Stan, you know, you say you save it all for this 3rd and final day, but in this category, these people have been going at it like that all week long.
Boy, you got that right. I tell you what, there is no tomorrow. This is it. And the weather conditions have worsened, bigger waters. These guys traded enough gel coat the other day to build an extra boat. I'm looking forward to some hot and heavy action today.
Yeah, look at what we were treated to in race number 2. These guys are absolutely letting it all hang out.
One hell of a race out there. We were bumping coming in all the way around. We were bumping at the turns. It was definitely a drag race out there. It was unbelievable.
That has been the story throughout these World Championships in the Superboat Extreme class. 2 races, 2 victories, and just as they were dominant through the regular season, they have been so in these World Championships. Definitely the ones the other 3 boats are gunning for, Stan.
Exactly. Overcast lead skies, the water conditions have picked up. And number 40 right there, Outer Limits, I spoke with them, and they know that they have to, Tommy, bring their A game today. And here we go, already lined up, green flag, and here we go, we're going racing. And already, Tommy, once again, side by side as they have been in rounds 1 and 2, Cooper Standard and Hooters Instigator. And here we go, headed out to turn number 1, and look at this, right side by side again.
Just a replay from races 1 and 2 throughout the early laps especially. These two just love dueling it out. No love lost between these 2 teams.
On the inside with the advantage going into this turn, and now you see Hooters Instigator pulling back. Being smart this time, they're not going to bang all the way through these turns anymore. It could knock both boats out. They do not want that to happen. But look at these water conditions, Tommy. The boats are definitely getting a much wilder ride today. They're going to get some frequent flyer miles.
Well, that may play in favor of the Cooper Standard Twisted Metal Motorsports racing boat right there. It certainly seems to be that way so far. Coming around turn number 2. They finished 3rd place on day 1. 4th place all the way at the bottom on day number 2. But today, looks like, so far anyway, a different story.
Yeah, a little different, but they are getting bounced around much more significantly today as they go through that drainage area, Tommy. Look at them. They are coming through there extremely fast, so got that boat trimmed very, very nicely. 2nd place, Hooters trying to run them down, but they lost a lot of ground in turn number 1.
Definitely a different complexion to this race course, Stan. The first 2 days of racing, not much action, not much big waves, not really present here. Most of the trouble happened around turn 1 and turn 3. But as we know from past experience, when the weather gets bad, that turn number 2 can be the real hazardous spot.
It certainly can. Now they're setting up for that very, very tight hairpin turn down in the inner harbor. As you see them coming to it right now, you see how disturbed the water conditions are. Very, very hard to read.
Cooper Standard heading into the 2nd lap now, maintaining that lead. Number 3, and look behind them. There's the Outer Limits boat. That's the boat to watch because they are in 2nd place. If they can get even 2nd place and the Hooters boat finishes back and forth, they can win this thing because they've eked out a 2nd in each of the first 2 races.
Because this is the newest boat in the field. It is state-of-the-art. It's got 5 steps on the bottom. Very, very loose-running boat. I look for them to maybe come on today.
And they certainly are the dark horses to watch here. Plenty more racing left in the Superboat Extreme category. 4 more laps to go. We'll be back.
The Superboat World Championships presented by STIHL is brought to you by MTI Marine Technology Incorporated, WHM Plumbing and Heating Contractors, STIHL. To see the full line of STIHL outdoor power equipment, go to stihlusa.com. And by Lucas Oil.
Key West, Florida, the Superboat International World Championships going on here. This is the Superboat Extreme class. Well, what's been a show so far, the first 2 races in this category between that boat, the Hooters Instigator, and the red boat, the Cooper Standard boat. Well, that's not happening today. The Cooper Standard boat, Stan, has opened up a huge lead.
Absolutely. Hooters Instigator apparently chose the wrong props because they're losing about 2 to 3 seconds per lap to Cooper Standard, and they're going to have to do something. As the fuel burns off and the boats lighten up, they can sometimes come onto their prop and change the whole scenario. But right now, the class of the field is that boat right there, Cooper Standard.
Cooper Standard could have used this kind of performance on days 1 and 2. All they've notched is a 3rd and a 4th place in a 4-boat field so far. So what might have been for this group, but that's not going to stop them from bearing down and trying to win this one.
But look at this, Tommy, in 3rd place and running down Hooters Instigator is that black boat that we've been talking about, Outer Limits. This might be their day.
Well, that's certainly cause for concern for the Hooters Instigator guys. Of course, they are the points leaders coming into this 3rd and final race. They've won the first 2 previous races. If they let, though, the Outer Limits boat get ahead of them, possibly win this race, they finish 3rd, or Outer Limits finishes 2nd, Hooters Instigator finishes 4th, Outer Limits will take the World Championship.
Perhaps Hooters Instigator just trying to run a very safe, sane race. But as you said, their rearview mirrors are full of this black boat bearing down on them.
Trying to catch Hooters Instigator. That's job number 1, and Hooters Instigator cannot let that happen. Of course, both of those boats, the 2 and 3 boats, chasing Cooper Standard, who are having no problem with this race course at all, just about to wrap this thing up.
Brentley firstman Billy Glick headed down towards a checkered flag. They can see it waving in the distance. They can probably smell it, Tommy. What a great run for this boat as they head down the front stretch for the final time. Looking at pace boat number 1, waving that checkered flag number 30. 42 feet of red hot fountain. Cooper Standard, great job in round 3.
Cooper Standard picking up a measure of pride today. Was not good enough to take the World Championship trophy. Of course, with 2 victories in the 2 previous races and being able to hold off outer limits, it's going to be the Hooters Instigator team that wins that World Championship to add to their US 1 status. So there's your total points. Hooters Instigator, 2 wins in race 1 and 2. Total points of 950, finishing 2nd place today, and that will do it for them. A World Championship. They are the US number 1 as well. In Superboat Extreme, we've got our champions, and there they are.
It wasn't about winning today. It was about finishing with my buddy Johnny over here. And, you know, it was a little rougher out there today, a lot rougher today than the other day. But, you know, we kept ahead of the outer limits boat, and that's what it was all about. Sometimes it isn't about winning, it's about the championship. Nothing better than winning the World Championship at Key West. Yeah, Key West every year.
Peter Meyer, Johnny Pop Stanch, and the Hooters Instigator team, your champions in Superboat Extreme. One more classification to settle before we're all done here at Key West, and it's the big one. The Superboat. Can WHM Motorsports hang on and take the title? Superboat International presented by STIHL. This is the World Championships, Key West, Florida. And this is day 3 of 3 days of racing to see who gets the crown, or crowns, we should say, today. 2 races we've already seen. 2 categories are complete, but we got a big one coming up. This 3rd race, like the others, is for double points. It's not necessarily who wins this race, but who has the most overall.
This is day 3. Came off a 2nd and a 1st. And, you know, there's just so much, like, electric running through my body right now, you know what I mean? So, you know, you really, it ain't flat out there. It's big water, man, and you really got to play it right. Right, I got to get that feeling, Wayne. I got to get that feeling.
You know, final day of the 2015 Key West World Championships right here. You know, we got some heavy winds going 20 to 25 miles an hour out of the east-northeast. A lot of great photography, great video going on today because these boats are going to spend a lot of time in the air.
Right, having fun. I hear there's some big stuff in the back. Some of the guys that got out said the 4 or 5 footers out there, so that'll be an interesting race.
I don't know, the wind's blowing. Everybody, I hear that turn 2 out there. Once you come out of the harbor, I guess it's got some pretty nasty holes in it.
It's rough water, it's windy. Everybody's nervous, and if they're not, they're lying. Yeah, well, we raced Wednesday and Friday, and what a lot of people don't understand is they're half races, which means half points.
Well, Key West is a unique thing because of the 3-race format, and the weather's never usually the same.
Then we come into Sunday, it's a double points race. So with the amount of boats we have, and the amount of lead changes, and 1st and 2nds and 3rds and 4ths, you know, if we win it and there's a boat between us and WHM, we take the World Championship.
Oh, I have the big target on my back. Yeah, WHM has always been the big target. That's, you know, just the way it is, you know. But you know what? It gives everybody something to chase, and I'm that guy they want to chase.
All right, all boats, last race. All boats, last race. Let's head out. Big boats is firing up. Please respond to the milling area. Thank you.
Boy, like all these classes, they're as matched as closely as they can possibly be, yet we've got things that are difference makers for all these teams. And right now, as we mill around right before this race starts, the adrenaline is running high.
Boy, it certainly is. 9 boats in this class. This is Superboat International's premier class, and now they are coming up off plane, Tommy, and lining up, and it's so critical to get a good line.
You see the points leaders right there. WHM Motorsports, Amsoil, your winner on the first day, following up behind them, and Broadco in 3rd. But anything can happen on this day. Remember, the points values are doubled.
Lining up, here they come. They got to find clean water. You do not want to be in that white water. That water has air in it. You do not get the push off the props. You want that clean blue water. And I tell you what, I can feel the anticipation already, Tommy, as we get very, very close to seeing the green flag.
Establish our lane. Watch that go over to the right. Push him over. Yep. Perfect.
Well, this one's for all the marbles here. Hold on right there. Getting serious here even before the flag appears.
Boy, push him over indeed. Bob Z just got mixed out, sandwiched there, and he was having to suck some spray as we get ready for the green flag.
Oh, okay. You need to go here soon.
All right, green flag. Here we go. We are going racing. Superboat style. Hammered down, gentlemen, take it off. Headed up to turn number 1. It's STIHL, Tommy. STIHL with a little bit of a lead. WHM closest to us. He's coming up very, very fast as well. It's a battle right now for first and second. WHM catching up to STIHL. They are side by side as they head out to turn number 1.
Well, the odds makers, if they were making odds on this race, would have to put it on WHM. They have had the best track record so far this weekend throughout the season. They are US 1, the national champions as well, and showing how they got there early on in this final event of the year.
Come on, come on, come on. So the fade to you. Stay up, stay up, stay up. Stay out here. You're gonna have to go wide. You're gonna have to go wide.
As we approach turn number 1, they must maintain the lanes. A lot of traffic in there, Tommy.
WHM trying to carve an inside line right there and doing it pretty successfully. It may take over for the look at what happened there. HP Mafia there in their first race.
Upside down. I hate to see that. The very first lap of their first race this week. Father-son duo. We'll keep an eye on this, a very close eye. That looks pretty violent.
John Smith and Jason Smith. Let's take a quick look at that again. Very, very crowded here. This is, again, the first turn of the race. So much going on, and then that.
Both crew members are okay outside the boat. Towboat 1's hooking up now. We'll get them out of here as quick as we can.
They are both out. They seem to be A-OK.
Anthony John Smith, Anthony Jason Smith. Oh, man, good to see that Missouri team up and on their feet, even though the boat is upside down.
But the race continues on. It's WHM with a slight lead as they head down to turn number 2. Look at these 40-foot boats, Tommy, leaving the water. It's getting big out there, so deceiving. It looks pretty benign to us. STIHL just caught a chine and went off to their starboard hard and scrubbed a lot of speed and lost a little bit of position. But right now, your leader, WHM, and side by side.
Oh, is it Cleveland?
It is Cleveland.
It is Cleveland.
And they're making a pass by WHM. Oh my goodness. And STIHL's in the fray as well. Look at this battle.
Cleveland Construction coming from back in the pack in terms of points there. Another team like STIHL, who could be a spoiler today.
STIHL's sucking a lot of water right now in the middle. He needs to get out of that position, get some clean water. Now it appears he's found some clean water. And look how nicely they're racing. They're spreading out for each other, giving everybody plenty of berth as they go through there. WHM with the inside lane as he usually likes to have it. Let's make sure everybody gets through this line clean. Now, as they head up to turn number 1, they'll have to give a wide berth around that.
Still got a mishap side down there between 1 and 2.
All race boats get a yellow flag in turn 1. All race boats, yellow flag in turn 1.
Now, Tommy, this could be interesting because all of our leaders did not see what happened behind them. So unless their radio personnel told them what happened, they're going to be in for a shock when they get down there.
Absolutely, it is still pretty much an active scene right there, and a lot of space taken up. So these guys are going to have to be careful.
Something going on in the turn. Yup. Big one, right? Come on, big one, big one.
Don't see your outside.
Right, you heard that, the STIHL boat right there. You heard him trying to make a move on WHM, and we're headed into a pinch point right here. Definitely.
Turn too sharp.
He
spun out, Tommy. STIHL spun out, but they're still right side up. And that's a good thing. Boy, there's a lot going on right there.
Absolutely.
This is like overload.
You got to be on your toes through here. STIHL up past by Performance Boats. Broadco gets by them as well. What a turn of events right here. Let's take a look from the Cleveland Construction boat. I think we can see that. We're right behind that. We'll see what happened to STIHL.
On board Cleveland now. There you see STIHL spinning out. Look, they're headed right for them. They're almost going to T-bone them and just barely got by the stern area. Wow, that was close.
Dangerous spot on this race course right now till they get it all cleaned up. And, of course, the team that comes out on top of that one, there they are right there, the WHM team picking up where they left off in race number 2.
And look at that fleet headed our way, but there is your leader, as you said, Tommy, number 5, WHM. But look, just off their starboard, it's Cleveland Construction.
All of those 3 boats who are in the thick of it somehow back in the middle of it again. What is going to happen through the remainder of this race? Plenty of laps left to go. When we come back, we'll pick up where we left off. Also check on the fate of the team of the HP Mafia.
Turbo 1 staying on the outside of course. Let's go, 1. Hey, just come with me. Follow me, Turbo 1. Come on. Come on.
The First turn of the first lap in the Superboat race here. Final race on championship day, and this happens. That's the HP Mafia boat. This boat, which had some trouble in testing, was not race ready until the third of these 3 races coming in, and that happens in the very first lap here. The father and son team, John and Jason Smith, thankfully were able to get out safely. Boy, Stan, it was close.
Oh, it certainly was. It was a very violent spin. Get a look at it right here off the stern cam of WHM, and look how close they were. They tripped a chine, they went up, they came down very, very violently, upside down, but both father and son came out A-OK, thanks in no small part to the Superboat International dunk test that simulates rollovers.
The dunk test, it's interesting to find a way that you can do it the most efficiently. You know, getting in and getting out of that and imagining yourself. So each time I do it, I just try and put myself into that position of being in the boat and the initial fear of terror, oh God, we're gonna crash. And now what do I do?
So I implemented everything I knew about all the training I had that SBI has provided with their dunker test.
I don't know if anybody likes being strapped into a cage and dropped upside down into water. It's not something we enjoy, we all dread, we all try to avoid it. It is something that's required in order to race.
It does give you the sensation and the disorientation of being underwater, no mask, breathing, and now you're upside down.
When you do flip over, it does come back into your mind of all the things you got to do, you know, to brace yourself, because when you're upside down, your tendency is just to unstrap yourself, and the first time I did it, my face hit right into the dashboard. It prepares you for bracing yourself and getting your air and getting yourself out of the boat and checking on your driver or throttle man to make sure that you're comfortable with your surroundings while you're upside down. So it's really, really good that they do the dunk tank.
An old saying, seconds count, but it really is true. If you know the protocol, you can save your own life. We certainly learned that early on in this race. We're now up to lap number 4 of the 9 schedule laps today. Double points today. WHM Motorsports, our points leader, in the lead in this race. You got to finish first or second to take the world title.
And now we are back on board. Bob Teague, Paul Whittier, they got a very, very bad start after they got hosed down. But here is your leader, and they are looking good. WHM, they are out in front of the fray.
So much experience in that boat. They know all of the tricks, every line to take on this race course. Can they hold it together? Just avoiding trouble, a big part of the job on this day.
We can let Cleveland pass us. Let's not do anything silly, because Broadco and Teague are way back. All right.
Well, Broadco and Teague might be way back, but if they look in their rear view mirror, I'm seeing what's coming up behind them, and it is very, very fast Silverboat. And there you see him right there, Cleveland Construction, with a tremendous burst of speed. And Tommy, they're going to get by him.
Yeah, he dismissed the wrong 2 teams right there. This is the one you got to look out for, and you got to think throughout the rest of this race. That's going to be the story for the WHM team, having to fight off one boat after another, challenging them for the lead.
Cleveland Construction now, they are your official leader as they make the turn and cut it very, very nicely. Not nearly the traffic we had the last time they came through that turn. And look at the battle for third place, Tommy. STIHL and Performance Boats neck and neck racing through turn number 1, and the conditions are getting brutal.
The STIHL team has not had good luck throughout the first 2 races in these World Championships, but they would love to play the role of spoiler today. They'd love to win this race.
Boy, wouldn't they ever. And I got to tell you, the winds are stiffening. It is getting really rough out there. And what a battle STIHL has put on. They spun out, and now they're back trying to duke it out for third place and giving Performance Boat Center Speed Racer all they can ask for as Speed Racer stands it up twice. Oh, my goodness.
Are things deteriorating out here? I can tell you one thing. Getting from turn 1 to turn 2, that has become the rough spot on a race course that is overall much rougher today than it has been throughout the first 2 days of racing. You got a hats off to everybody who makes it successfully through turn number 2 and heads for this stretch.
And there is your leader, number 4, Cleveland Construction, Ed Smith. Keith Holmes out of the great state of Michigan. Just behind, with World Championships on their mind, is number 5, WHM.
WHM's got a hard task today. They got to finish second or better in a field that it seems to be shifting and changing with each successive lap. Staying in second place, so important for this team. There's the STIHL boat in pursuit of them right now. They got a lot of people to deal with today.
But what a Herculean effort for this team, Team STIHL, to come back to where they are. Oh my, look at this. Broadco's going in, Tommy.
Hold on.
Yeah, guys, we're coming back in. It's just not, it's awful. The
The setup was just wrong, completely wrong, and a few other issues too.
Shame right there for the Broadco team. They won it all last year in 2014, but Chuck Broadus and Grant Bruggeman obviously feeling the issues are serious enough they need to take themselves out of the race. Definitely at the front of the race now. They had a hard time getting here to race number 3, but leading right now, Cleveland Construction.
And it's a serious lead as well, but speaking of serious, none more serious than this. Look at the move that Team STIHL is putting on Speed Racer now. What a burst of acceleration, performance Speed Racer. Look at this, STIHL number 13 getting by him. J.R. Noble, Mark Kowalski. Look at that boat go. That beautiful 388 skater is unleashing the horsepower now.
What they think about what might have been if they could tuned in like this. The first 2 races, STIHL would have been certainly the force to be reckoned with.
We're good. Come on, baby. Pull, baby. Come on. All race boats. The boat under tow is safely in the harbor, and the divers have been recovered from the deployment.
Oh, it's big.
Well, you know when Jay Muller and Billy Moff say, holy cow, it's big, it is beyond big.
Yeah, these are tough guys we're dealing with right here, but man, that section of the race course has been unbelievable throughout the last part of this race.
And you can see the water spraying up through the bottom hatch of this boat here, Team STIHL.
STIHL having moved up in the standings. They started out right beside Broadco, and Broadco was in 3rd place to begin with. They're out now, so STIHL's prospects are looking better and better all the time as they get closer and closer to the WHM boat.
25-mile-per-hour winds. We got white caps, and we have great racing right here in Key West for the 35th Annual Key West World Championships. And STIHL putting a move on WHM right now.
Yeah, WHM about to surrender that lead to STIHL. We'll see what happens as they get closer and closer to turn number 3 and begin the next lap. It's going to be an interesting battle through this turn. I can't predict. It's going to be a lot of gamesmanship going on here.
STIHL picking them off one by one, and now they have their sights firmly set on our leader. And that leader, of course, is Cleveland Construction. They're not that far ahead, Tommy.
Amsoil in 4th place, the winner of race number 1 here. We saw them get jostled right at the start of this race. You wonder what might have been. These guys always wonder that. But what's happening right now is STIHL overtaking WHM, doing a masterful job through turn number 3. Something tells me this battle is far from over right now. These two will be slugging it out till the end.
The SUPERBOAT World Championships presented by STIHL is brought to you by Geico, MTI, Marine Technology Incorporated, STIHL. To find a STIHL dealer near you, go to stihldealers.com. And by WHM Plumbing and Heating Contractors.
Coming down to the final laps of this Superboat classification, and the WHM team, the points leader, to start this 3rd and final race for the World Championship. Time is running out for them. They are losing ground. We saw the STIHL boat go by them, Stan, and of course if they lose any more ground, they're going to be out of 2nd place, and they're going to be looking really, really rough.
Yeah, STIHL has just really found some speed. They chose the perfect prop setup, but as you said, they cannot be world champions, but they are certainly having a good time out there and knocking off their competitors one by one.
You see the points breakdown right there to start this race, and the Amsoil team, who won the first race in this series 2 races ago, they're the team with a chance to win if things work out possibly. But for WHM to lose it all, they've got to drop below 2nd place, maybe past 3rd or 4th, and stay there depending on how the rest of the field sorts out. So Amsoil with an opportunity right here.
And a big one it is, and according to my stopwatch, they are gaining ground each and every lap on WHM, so this is going to be really, really exciting as we get into the last 2 laps.
WHM are fighters, there's no question about that. Can Amsoil hold on? Got a lot of racing left to go on a course that is not getting any better.
And these turns, Tommy, right now are critical. And the Amsoil boat is 4 feet shorter than the WHM. I think it gives them a slight advantage going through these turns. That's where you can make up so much valuable ground.
This WHM team so sharp through the first 2 days of racing, facing their biggest challenge.
Backdoor 6, Amsoil.
What do you want to do, stay in 3rd?
Yeah.
Get right there, throw it inside.
Backdoor 2, Billy 2.
lot of strategizing going on there, Stan. They're thinking about the AMSOIL team, possibly letting them go through, hoping, trusting that AMSOIL will not take the win. That's the way AMSOIL could win the championship.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why WHM has seemed to drop off the pace. Are they just trying to play it safe? But I tell you what, this is nerve-wracking. I'm starting to bite my fingernails.
They're in a tight spot here. For insurance, they have to finish in second place. If they drop back to third, they just got to hope that AMSOIL does not win.
And right now, they're in the roughest part of the course between turns 1 and 2, and they are side by side.
We got 2 boats ahead of these 2 teams, but this is where the real battle is going on right now.
AMSOIL passing us now.
We wind up for the 4th. Do we win?
I think so.
She's got it first.
Heck of a time to be doing the math right here. It's not like you don't have enough to deal with right in front of you, but that's pretty much what they have to do, the WHM team. They know they can let the AMSOIL team get ahead, but what if AMSOIL wins? Then all is lost.
And knowing how competitive all these teams are, they do not want to let anybody get in front of them. It's just when you see somebody beside you, you've got to hammer down. You can't let them get by you.
Cleveland Construction still in first place, having an outstanding final race of this campaign. STIHL right behind them, having their best race of all 3 days right now. But the real story, 3rd and 4th place, AMSOIL and WHM. They know their path. They're going to try to get ahead of them and stay there.
They still had some power in reserve, didn't they? And they got past AMSOIL now. So it's going to be very, very critical, Tommy, as they head into the tightest turn on the entire course. Now, AMSOIL has the inside lane. That gives them the advantage. However, WHM might be far enough ahead where they can legally cut across and slam the door.
This will be interesting. AMSOIL is going to make their move. This would be a good time to do it. This is the turn where a lot of shuffling of places has taken place throughout the 3 days.
On board with AMSOIL now, they elected to swing wide, maintain the RPMs. You see those tachometers, just over 5,000 RPMs as they accelerate. But here is your leader on the left, but not by much, Tommy. Look at STIHL closing in as we speak.
Where these two have had a fantastic final day. This is the last lap, the absolute bell lap. This is for all the marbles. The World Championship hangs in the balance. WHM trying to hang on at this point.
What's the deal? Running out of fuel. Running out of fuel, Ray. Running out of fuel.
Oh, my God. On top of everything else, now they're running out of fuel. This is too much. I can't take much more.
Absolutely. They've avoided all catastrophes so far, but to run out of fuel on the final lap of the final day with the trophy almost in their hands. Boy, we got to watch this WHM team. Great race going on at the front of the field, though, Steve.
It certainly is, and they're approaching the roughest part of this race course. Let's see what happens as they round turn number 1. Very, very nicely done. STIHL carving some very, very tight turns.
Cleveland Construction, STIHL both had their troubles through the first 2 days of racing, but they are trying to make up for it in the year with a good taste in their mouths, and it's going to take a superb effort for one of these teams to best the other when it's all said and done.
Ooh, they are taking some major air as they boats fly and leave and go about 40 to 50 feet through the air and then land again. They're landing hard, too. Cleveland Construction almost at a 45-degree angle. This is just great, great racing.
1 and 2. This has been the rough spot all day long, and what a show they're putting on for the fans here at Key West. This is the big finale of the day. Who will wind up on top of the race, and who will wind up with the World Championship?
And here they come around the final turn, headed for the checkered flag. STIHL is closing in as we speak. Will they have enough distance to pass? Let's find out, Tommy.
They have shown a lot of power in the last few straightaways here. STIHL has the power to do it. It's just going to be a matter of timing, and time is running out for the STIHL team.
They are bumping, they are jumping, they are headed towards the pace boat. Flag is waiting, but it looks like it's going to be number 4, Cleveland Construction. They take it, they take first place today.
STIHL coming in second place. Neither one will be able to capture the championship, though. WHM Motorsports holding on to 3rd place, staying ahead of the AMSOIL team there. That was a big part of the job, and they are going to take it to World Championship. US won, they won during the regular season as well. This is a dual championship for 2015 for WHM.
And let's not forget, they are running on fumes. But gentlemen, congratulations, because you are officially world champions.
It's called playing it smart. Exactly what I said earlier. You don't have to be the guy out front. You got to play it smart.
I didn't want to really lead, but got a good jump on the start. And then I was like, let's put some distance. And I could see where Broadco and AMSOIL were. So I started just running conservative, let Cleveland go.
World champion, Key West, 2015, WHM. US 1 national title, WHM 2015. Well, getting it done, man, getting it done.
Oh man, that was awesome. We had the hammers down and we were in control of it, and you know, Ed was doing a great job, and man, it was our setup, our rough boat handling out there was just, couldn't have said any better for the crew and the guys. WHM did an awesome job. We never tangled or messed or crowded with either one of us, so it was an awesome day.
Cleveland Construction had some rough spots in these World Championships, but they end their season on a super positive note. And how about the effort, Stan, of WHM?
Indeed, superlative job for WHM, but what about the STIHL power move? It was indeed Team STIHL. They spun out. They had all kinds of adversity, but they came back and picked off everybody else except for one boat, one by one.
Yeah, Cleveland Construction actually able to nip them right at the finish line, but what a congratulations we send out to all these teams and especially our world champions, WHM.
Off the way!